So great seeing my next guest back in the cage. UFC Fight Night, April 22nd, going to be taking on Ricky Glenn. It's Christos Giagos back here on the program. Christos, how are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Doing really, really great. Super excited. Camp's going good, and just excited for the whole process. You know what I mean? Trying to make a statement. You know what I'm saying? Because coming off a two loss skid, and I gotta make something happen now. It's do or die.
Before we talk about that, you were telling me you just got out of Bible study. You said, have you always been a man of faith? I don't think I've ever heard this before. Very interesting.
No, actually, it's newish. You know what I mean? Maybe the past year and a half, maybe year and a half. It's crazy. I'm really big into. I don't think I've told you this either. I'm really big into like conspiracy theories and all that, and I like digging into things that like the media and mainstream won't tell you. And just following all that kind of stuff kind of pushed me a little closer to have some faith in Christianity a little bit. And I definitely think we're living in a world that's run by the evil one. And as you can see, this world's kind of taking a dive, you know what I mean? And a lot of evil going on in this world. So it kind of pushed me towards Jesus a little bit, and I just got baptized late last year, like September.
Oh, congrats! That's awesome.
I think like October, November-ish. Me and my wife actually, and we're doing it together. And yeah, so I joined this Bible study group actually at Killcliff at my fight gym.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so on Mondays after practice, we stay after. It's ran by Nate Marquardt. He used to fight in the UFC. So he runs it, and Ong Lasong is in the group, and we got Evan. The heck is his last name? I can't even think about it. Evan, my teammate.
Elder.
Yeah, Elder. My God.
Yeah.
Evan, and a lot of guys. You know what I mean? Do the Bible study, and it's just kind of fun getting closer to God and practicing my faith, and it's definitely something I'm diving deep into right now.
I think that's awesome. I'm not a really religious person, but I respect anyone who's willing to like kind of make their life for the better. I'm a big like life hack guy. Like I like, seeing improvement, and there's something on your Instagram I'm going to mention later that I do that you do as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But, I feel like, religion's kind of frowned upon because of, some of the bad sides of it. But I think the good side is, like you mentioned, our society is going in a bad direction. I got 2 kids, like I'm worried for their future, but I think, anything that's like teaching people to make positive decisions in their life, I think people have to respect. So I think that's awesome, man. And that's why I brought it up, because I feel like religion doesn't get enough praise in today's society,
You know what I mean? And I feel like this is good and bad and everything, you know what I mean? Because you do got those Christians that kind of step on people's toes, they kind of bash people. And I don't really like that because, in the Bible, it says, love everybody, love your enemies too. If people want to make bad decisions, you can give them, like, you can, tell them what it is, but if they don't want to follow it, that's up to them at the end of the day, you know what I mean? And you shouldn't push it deeply into people or make people feel bad or judge people, you know what I mean? So I don't like the kind of Christians that do that. So it's all about, I'm all about positive mindset, staying positive, and if it's going to lead you to live a better life, what's wrong? What's the harm? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. And I think the people that I disagree with, and this goes across the boards, is the people who kind of look down on other people. We need more empathy in this society, I think, too. We can do a whole podcast on this, honestly, but it drives me nuts. So everyone's kind of like, oh, you made this mistake, we're going to, crucify you for it. Rather than like, you never see someone when they make a mistake on social media, someone saying, hey man, should maybe have a read at this. It's like, you're terrible. You need to be, reprimanded. Like we think so differently now. There's not a lot of like looking out for your neighbor, so to speak. And I wish there was more of that in society. So we're on the same page there for sure, man. But we got to talk about some fighting, as interesting as that stuff is. We haven't seen you since June. You mentioned the losing streak. Was this by design, or what was sort of the reason why we haven't seen you in so long in the cage?
No, I was supposed to fight. I was gonna do a quick turnaround, and I got on that Paris card, but I severed my pinky and cut.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I cut 2 tendons of my pinky, and I didn't really heal up until about December-ish. But I didn't really hear anything, and so at that point I just took the rest of the year off, and then I was trying to find something, to get booked pretty quick. But I couldn't really find anything. They offered me a couple of short notice fight. I didn't really want to do that coming off 2 losses.
Yeah.
Right now, you know what I mean? I don't mind short notice fights at all, but the thing is, listen, I gotta make a statement, and I want to be well prepared, and I want to be fully in this. You know what I mean? I got to give everything I got in this fight because, like I said, Had a couple slip-ups, a couple mistakes. Mistakes would cost you. And it was my chance, breaking in the top 15. You know what I mean? My last opponent was in the top 15. The fight before that was my chance to get in the top 15. Made a couple mistakes, and yeah, you know what I mean? Cost me. And I definitely worked on them, fixed what I think cost me those fights. And I just feel like my last fight, you know what I mean? I didn't fight my fight. I think I was a little too conservative, especially when he had me pinned against the cage. Instead of like working to get out of there, I was just like, I felt I was in a good position, so I kind of like waited too long, which gave him the opportunity to take me down instead of battling out of that position. So I feel like I didn't do what I naturally do. You know what I mean? I like to push. I like to go. I like to accept no bad positions, and I didn't do that. And I'll tell you this: I got out of that mindset. I'm going back to my old ways, and just be a ferocious Spartan. You know what I'm saying?
You and Ricky have the same management. Was a bit of an easy negotiation from that standpoint.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't really know him on a personal level, just because
Yeah.
we're on the management don't mean nothing to me.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, it's all business, and I've known Ricky Glenn for a bit, as far as like on paper, especially when I was fighting for ACB. I fought this kid Alexander Pimentel, and his only loss was to Ricky Glenn, and then
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I beat him. So it was like his only two losses were to me and Ricky Glenn. So I think this is a great matchup. I think he's a well-rounded fighter. I don't think he's a he's a specialist like my last two opponents were. At anything, he's just pretty well-rounded like I am. I feel like I'm pretty well-rounded. I can wrestle. I got good jiu-jitsu, and I got good striking. So I feel like this is going to be a war. I feel like this is going to be a potential fight of the night bonus. I'll tell you that.
And I talked about layoffs. He actually hasn't fought since October of 2021. Do you believe in cage rust at all, or do you not think that'll be a factor here?
I think for some people, it all depends on their mentality. At the end of the day, I think some people it can affect them. I think for others it don't. It all depends on who you are, what your mentality is like. At the end of the day, I don't think ring rust would be a problem for me. Um, but who knows? You know what I mean? I think I stayed pretty active. Last year was my first time ever doing like where I had one fight in 1 year, except when I had neck surgery. Actually, I think it took about a year off from that, or ish, maybe. Yeah. It was about a year off from that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like to think about that too much. I expect him to come fully loaded. Maybe not fighting for a while has made him a lot hungrier, so I expect a fully loaded Ricky Glenn, and he better be expecting a fully loaded Christos Giagos. I'll tell you that.
There we go. You mentioned Killcliff FC. Who've been some of the main guys helping you get ready for this fight?
I've been working with Evan Elder, Jared Gordon. He's fighting on the same card as me. Michael Johnson, because he's a southpaw. I'm trying to get with some southpaws. There's a couple newer, younger guys in there that I'm going with. Good talent. I'm trying to get with tall southpaws, but we don't have too many of those. So, Evan's been going southpaw for me a little bit, just letting me work on just learning that style a little bit, just seeing a lot of looks in the southpaw positions. So, yeah. I saw Rogers a little bit. He's back because he's fighting in May for Bellator. So kind of a lot of people. But mainly, I think it's been like Michael Johnson, Evan Elder, Saul Rogers, and then this kid UG a little bit, and then a little bit all over the place.
Good. No, it's good to have that variety. Who's going to be in the corner for you for this fight?
I got the dream team: Greg Jones, Henry Hoof, and Sean Soriano. I like the way they coach, and they've been helping me out a lot. So yeah, I feel like I got the dream team coaches.
How's this fight playing out on April 22nd?
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a war. I think it's gonna be, like I said, a fight of the night type fight. I love this fight because usually, like my last two fights, I fought Armin, and
Yeah.
for Armin, in the back of my head, I got to worry about his takedowns, and maybe I didn't really feel confident going for my own takedowns, and I like to go for takedowns. I like to wrestle a little bit. When I fought Giagos, I was like, all right, well, now I got to defend takedowns again. I don't want to take him down. I want to beat him in the feet. This fight, I feel like I get to do whatever I want to do. I get to fight my fight. If I want to take him down, I'll take him down. If I want to strike, I'll strike. I get to fight my full MMA fight, and I feel like that's when I'm at my best. So I feel like you're going to see the best Christos Giagos you guys ever got to see, and I feel like I've just gotten so much better, especially from almost 2 years that I've been at the gym. Because, there's guys that, I had a rough time in the beginning, and now I feel like I've definitely outgrown a lot of people, and I'm definitely hanging with the best in the gym right now. So I feel like this is gonna be something different.
You kind of talked about it there, a lot going into this fight. Is this the last fight on your contract? I was trying to figure out how many more
No,
fights
this
you
is
have
my
left.
3rd fight out of my 4-fight contract.
Still a big one though, because I know the last one you usually renegotiate on, right? Usually. So
Yeah. So after this fight, maybe there's some talks for some renegotiating. I can't even say that word right. But anyway, yeah. So we'll see what happens after this fight. Like I said, I'm giving everything I got into this. I'm putting a lot of effort in. I'm working really hard in the gym and keeping my mind sharp. So doing everything I can. I'm a lot more focused on my recovery as well. I really didn't used to do that before. So I'm really focusing on my recovery and just trying to stay healthy. And like I said, coming out 2 losses in a row, I got to make a statement. So I'm coming in hot. Tell you that.
love it. The opposite of hot is cold, and that was something I was going to bring up that I saw on your Instagram. I know you do the cold baths. How long you been doing that?
I've done them in the past before, but lately I've been doing a lot of research and all the benefits and what it can do to the body. And I like what I saw. I like the research that I've done. So, I mean, I was doing it strictly for the inflammation, and I heard it can boost your testosterone if you let your body warm up naturally. And there's a lot of guys in the gym doing it. We have a cold tub at the gym. So, and doing them, I've actually been feeling really good, because last week I actually didn't do it as much, and I felt like I was a little more worn out and tired. So I'm back doing them again, and yeah, it makes me feel good. If it's a placebo effect, I'll take it, but yeah, I really like the way I feel, and I think it's just a nice mental challenge as well. You know what I mean? Nobody likes to be.
That's the big one. So I do it as well. I actually do it usually every morning if I can. And like, I don't fight, but for me, I like the hurdle of like getting over that. And then you're right. Like your body naturally warms up. I was sick like last week. I find that like, I don't get as sick as before. Like I got 2 kids, so like they're, infested with germs and stuff, but I think there's something to it, man. Like I've talked to a lot of people about it. And that's why when I saw that on Instagram, I was like, yeah, cause I've been doing it for about 1.5 years now. And I think it's great. So
it's supposed to be really good for your immune system as well.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of stories. Like you see 1 or 2 stories, you're like, okay, maybe they're making it up. But I've seen at least like 4 to 5 stories of people really claiming it cured their cancer and sickness. Yeah. And there's like old stories, newer stories. Then obviously, Wim Hof. So he has a lot of claims on how it cures sickness too. And what's funny is I got a kid, Alexei. He's a young guy in the PFL, and his dad's Ukrainian. And there's a lot of science behind fasting as well. But his dad used to say, as like a saying, if the cold and hunger can't cure your sickness, then nothing can. And that was very interesting to me as well, saying that. So I just feel like, why not? You know what I mean? It's not hurting me. And like I said, I like the mental challenge behind it too, learning how to like zen into it. I take a cold shower every morning as well, just to like wake myself up and just practice that breathing and putting your body through discomfort, because that's what we do every day.
Do you do straight cold shower? Like what I do is I'll do like a regular shower, like not too warm. I still make it a little bit colder, and I'll do that for whatever I do, wash my hair and stuff. And then I do 3 minutes of cold in the shower. Cause I don't know if I had a plunge, I would use that, but I do it in the shower. It's much easier.
Plunges are expensive. I do want to get one eventually.
Same here. Yeah.
But what I do is, cause the water takes a while to heat up. I'll put it cold for about a minute or 2, kind of wake myself up, and then I'll put it to hot, wash my body, because obviously I feel like the hotness will like clean you a little better, and then I'll put it back to cold for about 2-3 minutes. And so I do like cold, hot, cold.
There we go. And this is going to be a hot fight coming up here, April 22nd, UFC Fight Night. If there's anyone you want to thank before we get out of here, any sponsors or any social media, I'll give you the last word.
I just want to thank everybody at my gym, Killcliff FC. They're definitely getting me ready for this fight. We got a bunch of killers in the gym. It's made me a lot better, a lot stronger, and I just can't wait to show everybody what I can do, because I've been saying I was going to do it the past 2 fights, and I haven't got a chance to prove that yet, and I feel like this is my shot right now.